getting teamed up with Andy Reid is certainly a great big part of the success story of Patrick Mahomes. But I can tell you that, like, I'm not convinced on Haskins. There's another soft body.
Yes.
And I haven't seen, Alex Smith's the best one to come out of the Urban Meyer quarterback world. None of the rest have done anything. So that system, and that's not to say that he ruins quarterbacks. That's to say that he makes them look good. Urban Meyer makes quarterbacks look good.
Right.
So I cannot tell you that I would move up for Haskins. I actually think the safest pick by far is Drew Lock. Size, arm strength, threw it in college, posted numbers.
Accuracy was not
I
especially
agree.
good in college.
I think he's the safest one of the bunch.
Well, then that says something about the class, I think.
I think so, too.
No knock on Drew Lock. He may, clean up some of that stuff. It seems a bit of an anomaly that he doesn't throw more accurately.
Right.
He seemingly has the tools to do so.
Well,
but he hasn't really yet.
So project his career. Give me some comps. I'll give you what I think the window is on him. The upside is Matt Ryan and
I'd be shocked.
What's his name? Who just went to the Broncos? No. From the Ravens.
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. Like, he's in that kind of realm. That's where I kind of see his career being. That's my prediction, is kind of Joe Flacco-ish.
Well, that's good. I think you'd have to be thrilled with that.
I think he's the top quarterback in the class. And I think that's – but, I mean, Joe Flacco is a guy that I don't want to sign the second contract with.
Well, that certainly proved to be correct.
I mean, we talked about it when he got the deal. They're paying a lot of money now. They're taking up a huge chunk of their cap for a guy that was a difference maker, really, to his credit, in a 4-game stretch. Otherwise, he's just out there benefiting from having a great defense.
Right, and he did look like, he did look like he just never trended up like he looked like he was trending up. You saw it, and then he had the great postseason, and he had played well, but he just didn't take the next step. He was just who he was.
Yeah.
And maybe regressed even.
All right, so I'll take Drew Lock as the best quarterback in this class. And I'm completely open to the fact that I'm just a homer and rooting for the local kid, but I really do think he's
much of the questions. Safest. I probably would still take Kyler Murray because I do think the upside is greater, and that's really what you're looking for in a quarterback. Nobody really wants Ryan Fitzpatrick,
Agreed.
So I think if you think a guy's solid, nobody.
By the way, Fitzpatrick's not a horrible comp to Kyler Murray either. Because he's an undersized guy with a big arm.
Right. Although he's not quite as undersized.
No.
I just think the athletic ability, the comparison to Russell Wilson is there because they both played baseball. They both have big hands. They both threw the ball great.
He was a more accurate passer at Oklahoma than I had thought he was.
Oh, yeah.
You go back and look at the numbers, you're like, duh, wow. He was good, but not 70%.
Right, and 70% in college can just be guys are more open, and he's playing for Oklahoma. But
you look at the throws.
You see the throws,
and the throws against Alabama. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was now. Granted, they were in prevent, but you see him run around making the plays against Alabama. That's a 4-win NFL team. Yeah. That's out there. He's going to see those guys.
Oh, that's
league.
Like my least favorite comparison. I think Alabama would go winless in the National Football League, but that's me.
The defensive side, I say, is a 4-win.
Yeah, I might go there.
4-win defense.
I think when people try to say things like that, they don't realize just how, you're combining great players from everywhere.
Sure.
As good as Alabama is.
I agree. I agree.
It's like when people say, could Duke beat the Suns? That's maybe a better argument because, they maybe have 3 great pros on their team. I don't know. But still, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Got to play every night with no depth.
But I will entertain the idea that Alabama could win a game.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Or 2.
Yeah.
If you've
got
NFL teams.
Any given time, not just from one class, if over your 4 classes, which is what's out there on a football field at a time, you might have 2/3 of the team are NFL players, then you got a chance to win a game.
Yeah. I'd like to watch that 01 Miami team play.
Yes.
Play an NFL game.
Still, it ordinarily tops out at probably 2/3 of your team has NFL talent, which means 1/3 of your starters don't.
Right.
Which means you likely would lose a lot of games.
And that's
in
for the
NFL.
best team
Right.
out there.
Right.
Because there are plenty of guys from Alabama that will not play in the NFL.
Right. Exactly. Starters.
So, yes.
Plenty of starters.
Absolutely. We'll take a break. We'll talk some Royals baseball with Danny because we have to. We'll do that coming up next here in the program.
The program, weekdays from 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 810, WHB.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
If you are looking for quality work on your home by a local company that values integrity as well as quality, then Easton Roofing is the easy choice. You're not just a number or contract to Easton, where no job is too big or too small. Owner Joe Spiker is always personally available to you if you have questions or concerns. For residential and commercial roofing jobs, large and small, attic insulation, gutters, and much more, Easton Roofing is the perfect choice for you. Among their countless accolades are 4 consecutive years as an Angie's List Super Service Award winner, over 60 5-star Google reviews, over 60 5-star Yelp reviews, and Best of House honors 4 years in a row. A hands-on small business named after the owner's son, Easton Roofing does things the right way. All repairs are completed by Easton employees, and the company is completely licensed and insured. Get the personal, quality work that you are looking for the most important thing in your life, a safe and beautiful home. Visit EastonRoofing.com or call 913-257-5426. Make the best choice when you need help with your home. Easton Roofing, where integrity matters.
Who wins the tournament, by the way, Danny?
I think after yesterday, I'll go with Brooks Koepka.
He's won. He wins everything else. Why not?
I don't really want Bryson DeChambeau to win.
Why?
I just think there's a lot of bull in some of this scientific hoo-ha he runs out. And, he's trying to act like he is smarter than most people, but let's not just rub our face in it constantly about coefficients of the flag stick and all this other baloney. So,
all this hoo-ha.
By the way, I do have
and
very
whatnot.
mixed feelings about a love-hate relationship with the Masters generally. I mean, it's a wonderful golf tournament, and it's beautiful to watch on television. It's almost always exciting. Because it's an invitational, you're almost guaranteed that stars are going to be in contention. Long shots are not to be had because they're not there.
Right.
The field is even smaller than the 87 in reality because there's a bunch of former champions there who have zero chance to win or compete. So you're guaranteed all that. But from the fans not being allowed to be called fans, instead patrons, and you can't call what's always called in every other way in golf, the rough is the first cut and the second cut. And just, Gary McCord can't even work there because he once described the greens as looking like they had an elephant
bikini
buried. Yeah, bikini waxed, and that they had an elephant buried under
Getst over thyself.
And on top of it, I'm going to do it, and this may hurt, because my wife got mad at me for doing it.
Can you mark that, please?
couple of years ago, I just talked to Jake about potentially. I said, "Hey, I'm on the air now. Feel free. Feel free."
Ooh, a fresh batch.
Anyway, a couple of years ago, I turned to my wife while she likes golf on television, enjoys watching it with me, and so I turned to her and I said, "The bird noise is fake." And she goes, no, it's not. And I'm like, oh, yeah, just listen. And if you listen closely, here is what happens. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. No way. No bird ever just does 3. And I know from stories being done that this is the case, that they do pipe in extra bird noise.
You weren't guessing.
What, do they get speakers up in the trees or something?
No, they do it.
Or they do it on the TV?
Yeah, they do it for the broadcast. But just listen, you can tell. It ends up, and my wife goes, "Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me." Because then she starts hearing it, hear the repetitive bird chirp over and over again.
So you're not a fan?
I am a fan. I have mixed feelings. Now,
okay, that's right. That's
some of my mixed feelings. Some of my mixed feelings also come from the time when they were mighty late to the party and allowing black golfers to be there, and their backwards way of they clearly wish that we hadn't even had the Civil War. That they were still sipping mint juleps on the front of the plantation.
But
they have made some.
They were really embracing women too.
Oh yeah, but they've become a bit more.
They needed a lawsuit to finally.
Oh yeah, and now they put in the U.S. The Augusta National Women's Amateur, and they've become more progressive, which is kind of like saying they are now up to about 1964, when before it was about 1926 there. But it's a gorgeous place, and they're not greedy. The beers are $3 there. They could charge $50 if they wanted. Now they do have a problem with secondary market tickets now, which they can't control. I mean, I think it's like low end $3,000 to get in there.
Really?
Now, yeah. But the tournament itself is fantastic. The back nine is designed for excitement.
So if they don't charge,
they've got glorified par fours
so
and par fives.
Help me out as a novice on golf. If they don't, and I've heard that they don't charge a bunch for all the concessions, and there's only limited it's limited concession choices and all that. And where's the money come from?
Well, the TV rights are extravagant.
Oh, is that right?
I know that.
Is that where it is?
And also, all their members are just uber rich. So
there are real members.
Oh yeah,
that belong.
Yeah, and these are captains of industry. I mean, I don't even know what it's probably one of those things. If you need to know what the membership cost is, then you should not be a member. It's like one of those restaurants that doesn't have prices on the menu.
Yeah, we'll just give you a bill and you owe it at the end.
Exactly. So they don't need the money. There's they just have all the money they could ever want, and so they. To their credit, they passed that along to the patrons.
Because I thought nobody could play it. I thought it was only for the tournament. And
no, it's not just for the tournament. You can play there. In fact, apparently it's with the greens at regular speeds and from the members' tees. Apparently, it's not that wildly difficult either.
Really?
Yeah, one of the biggest offenses for the course is the fact that these greens are crazy slopey. You can't really tell it on TV.
Yeah.
And they were designed for a time when the ball went half as fast on the greens. Well, now they're putting, there's a thing called the stimp meter, and it measures green speed, and it probably was at 1.7, and now they're putting it at 14, which is about like going out on a linoleum floor and putting. So, anyway. But I enjoy watching it. But I grit my teeth through the patrons. Oh, he hit it over there in the first cut. I'm surprised they actually call it pine straw, that they didn't come up with some other word for that, because they've got pine straw all over the place. We can't say that the pine needles fell out of our lovely trees. They're
trucked in.
Second-generation leaves. I don't know.
Pre-used, pre-owned.
Exactly, something like that.
Pre-living, post-living leaves is what they are. Formerly live needles.
This will be another one. Get ready, Jed. As my first wife once described herself, pre-enjoyed.
Pre-enjoyed.
Yes. Most men are probably married to somebody who was pre-enjoyed. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm not going anywhere near that. I'm much smarter than that to go anywhere near that. But just the tremendous amount of satisfaction that's on your face for having said that is what, and plus the cringe and the uncomfortable nature Jed is having back there while you put that out there is yes, it's just Danny at his best.
All right, let's move on to the Royals.
All right, well, let's take a break.
Take some high ground.
Your Masters rant took up our time there. We'll take a break, come back, we'll talk about the Royals.
That's a good thing. We've got limited time.
Well, it is true, but I got a couple things I want to ask you about the Royals.
Okay.
Danny Unleashed. He is here. He's brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. When it comes to having happy customers, most contractors talk the talk. Easton Roofing, they walk the walk. Believe me, Check out their reviews online at Google, Facebook, or Yelp. You will see